Hello, welcome back. This is lecture 8 and I'm going to create the drawings for exercises 22, 23, and 24. As you know, there are 10 lectures in this series. If you prefer that they be given on another day or at a different time, let me know and I will try to accommodate you. Before doing the exercises, I want to show you how to chamfer and fillet solids in 3D space. The first thing I'll do is enter the chamfer command and pick the edge common to the top and front surfaces. I'll type 0.8 for the base surface distance and 0.4 for the other surface distance. Then I'll pick the edge separating the top and front surfaces and press enter. And you'll notice that the edge is beveled. Now I'll show you how to fillet solids in 3D space. This drawing shows a cylinder and a small box. The objects are union together. I'll type fillet and pick the bottom edge of the cylinder, then type 0.25 for the fillet radius and press enter. And now I think I'll create the drawing for exercise number 22. Hello again. Probably a good idea to start this drawing off with some concentric circles, but of course we have to go into model space. We have to set the layer 1 to be current. Then I can type C enter, pick any point, C enter, 2 enter. Enlarge the view. I can type C enter. I can snap to the center and type D enter, 0.75 enter. Do it again. Circle, snap to the center, D enter, 1. Try it one more time. Circle, snap to the center, D enter, 1.5. Of course that 1.5 has to be on the layer, so I select it so I don't get confused. Go to properties, change the layer from 1 to center. That's a bold circle. And of course with LTS we can make it 0.65 just to guess. It looks a little better. Also, we can go to layers and make the center layer current and put a center mark, dimension center mark, like that. And C enter. We go to that intersection, D enter, 0.25. Do it again at that intersection, D enter, 0.25. But of course we have to use the match property because the holes should be on layer 1. Now of course we want to make layer 1 current again. we'll draw a line anywhere, say from here down. Offset that line, 0.25. Offset again, 1.5. And we can copy this center line and drag it over for the right side view. In addition, we can make a line from here over and another line from here over. I follow that up, escape, undo, draw another line from this intersection here. And we can trim, TR, enter, trim. We can trim from that line into these two. We can also draw a line from this intersection here like that and use the fillet command, F enter, with radius to 0 to clean up the intersections. Actually, what we could do in this case is to mirror. Let's try that. MI, enter. I want to mirror this piece from here to here. Enter. Then draw a line which connects. However, these two lines inside should be on a different layer. So I'm going to go to Property. Instead of on layer 1, they should be on layer Hidden. So far, so good. Next, you want to type CHA, enter for a chamfer, D for the first distance, 0.125. They ask for a second distance, just hit enter to accept it. And then pick the two lines, here and here, enter. Here and here. And of course, if you're looking at this from the outside, which we are, we should have a line from here to here. You would see that edge. And what we want to do now is to draw a line from here, that'll be a center line. And we'll draw another one from here to here. And we can break that line. BR, enter. And of course, those two lines should be center lines, so we can use the Match Properties and select them. And there's now center lines. You can show the hidden holds or not. It really doesn't matter. Well, I suppose we should. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line from here down and another one. And using Match Properties, take that hidden line and brush those. And then I can trim, TR, enter. I can trim from that line and that line, enter, all these excesses. I could even copy from there to there. Now, of course, we'll want to make DIM current, and then shrink down the drawing so we have room for dimensions, and we can just start placing linear dimensions. One here, there. And rather than take up all the time to do that, I think we'll just move into the solid, and I'll do the dimensioning later on. So what we want to do is to pan here, and I'm going to copy this view with ortho off and put it up here on the right and zoom in on it. I'm going to erase that line, all these lines. Use match properties. And also I'm going to erase these holes and this portion down here. And I'm going to type PE enter. Polyline edit. Turn it polyline yes, J enter. So it's a polyline. Then I'm going to select it and make sure I put it on layer solid. Then I'm going to zoom previous. You know, there's another thing I should have done but I didn't do, so let's try it. I'm going to copy these holes from this point to that point. Enter. And I'm going to use the paintbrush to put them all in the same layer and move into southeast isometric. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. So we'll pan over here like this, zoom with the window like this. We could use a combination of extrude and revolve, or just revolve or just extrude, but this is a combination. So I'm going to type REV, enter, revolve that around this axis, 360 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to extrude, EXT, enter. These, any particular height, it doesn't matter. Extrude, height, make it 6. I suppose I could also, this is funny, I could draw a line from center there to center there. And I could 3D rotate these two cylinders from the, let's say, midpoint here. Rotate them around the green axis, -90. And then I could subtract from that into the two cylinders and erase the unnecessary lines. and actually I should really select it and change the property, putting it on layer solid. Select that, change the property to layer solid. And then shade it. Well, it worked. I could have done it other ways, but I was curious about that. It worked, so I'll type Z, enter, E, enter. Move into the top view and finish dimensioning the project. And so with the front view, side view, dimension, solid model, we're ready to complete the drawing. So we'll go into paper space layout. We're going to make viewport layer current, and we'll type MV. Pick any point. I think I'll take off the object snap. Hit enter to repeat the command. Do it again. Double click inside, southeast, then pan and zoom. We have to set the scale for the 2D drawing. It's 1:1, so we'll go to annotation scale. You can't be fooled by the check mark, that's something else. Click on 1:1. OK. Double click in here and then pan. I hope it'll fit. Yeah, it seems to fit just fine. Go to viewports, one current, freeze, viewports. The drawing is complete. It was a lot of fun and tricky. There are other ways of doing it, but I enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Hi, this is exercise 23. I'm having a little trouble reading the dimensions, so what I'll do is make the 2D drawing a little bit larger so I can see the dimensions. Zoom with the window like this. Okay, so we'll start to draw on the left side of the screen, and I'll draw a line, pick any point, here, there, 1.8, enter. And I'm going to zoom it try to center it a little bit. Might even zoom it some more. And now I want to offset. O, enter. O, enter. 0.42, enter. Then I'm going to F, enter. Fill it 2 parallel lines. Remember what happens. Get a full radius. Type C, enter for a circle. Make sure the O snap is on. So I really want to draw a circle at that endpoint. D, enter. 0.312, enter. and I'll simply copy it. Copy that from here to here. Next, I'll draw a line that is from the quadrant here down here and over here, anywhere. Draw another line from the quadrant here down. Next, I'll offset enter 1.31. This line over there, offset again 1.59. Then I'll offset again 0.28. And sort of, before I get too confused, I'll fill it with the radius 0. Now I want to offset enter 0.45. And I'll offset again 0.28. Escape, fillet. I'll clean up this corner and this corner. And I'll trim, TRM, trim from this area, that, and that, enter. And I'll fill it. So the drawing is beginning to take shape. Actually, what I can do is to mirror, MI, enter. I'm going to mirror these two line segments because this piece is symmetrical from the midpoint here, like that. Then I can fill it. And I can break this line. F first point will be here and second point there. Now you might want to erase this line and draw a line up here, spacebar, and another line from here up. This line is supposed to be a hidden line because you don't see it looking down on the top view. So we're going to change the property and put it on layer hidden. Escape. And now I can trim from here and here. And trim from here and here, and I think now we'll make the center layer current and put a center mark here and another one here. And we can copy these center lines, that one and that one, and bring them down. Also, we might want to make the hidden line current, and we can draw a line from the quadrant down here like that, and another one from the quadrant on the other side like that. And we can break anywhere at these 2 points, and then we can trim from all 4 lines the excesses. Try it again. Trim. Enter. I might even draw a line down here L enter. Actually, I can draw it anyway. I'll draw a line up there, and I can extend EX enter to this line, that center line. Then move the center line down because it's supposed to. Well, it didn't work. Undo. Undo. Erase. Oh, let's do it the right way. I'll erase this center line and make layer center current and draw a line. Pick the wrong line. Paintbrush. Then I'm going to break this line from here up to there. Possibly even erase this portion. LTS. Light scale 0.6. Well, that looks better. Finally. This problem's giving me so much of a hassle. I think what I'll do is turn off the video and just put the dimensions on. I think you all know how to do dimensioning by this time. And I suppose we ought to really copy. I want to copy these holes and put them over here. I did a poor job of it. So I'll undo that. Try it again. Copy. From the intersection here, intersection there. Well, that about completes the 2D drawing. Now we want to do the 3D drawing. And so what I'm going to do is, as usual, shrink down the drawing, pan, put it over to the lower left, probably go to layer solid, make it current, and freeze the dimension layer. Then I'll want to copy the object with ortho off and move it to the upper right as a basis for making the solid model. And then I'm going to thaw the dimension layer. I'll zoom in to where the solid is going to be created. And I think I'll make another copy of this. Well, first I'll erase the center lines, which I know I won't be using. And then I'll copy that. Might as well leave ortho on. And I'm going to fillet here. That's going to be one segment I'm going to use. The next segment I'm going to use is, so I'll do a fillet here. I'll erase what I don't need and use a paintbrush then I can move that piece back up again. Also, I'm going to need a centerpiece, so I'm going to type F-enter fillet, and I'll fillet this portion here, which I'm going to need, and fillet this portion, which I'm going to need, and erase with a crossing C. Anything I touch is going to get erased. And I'll erase the other part here. And fillet this part, which I'm going to need. Now we'll type PE, polyline, edit, enter. You want to make that a polyline, yes. J, enter to join. So I'm going to join that line with that one, the arc, and that one, enter. I'm going to do the same here. Make it a polyline, yes, J, enter. Also, going to make a polyline here, join, J, enter, and then we're going to make the whole thing, put it on layer solid. And move into southeast isometric view. Pan, zoom with the window, then we'll type EXT, enter, extrude, and I'll extrude these objects 0.28 and extrude these objects also 0.28, and I'll subtract from here into that, and I'll subtract from here into that, and I'll separate them. Next, I'll want to extrude this rectangular block to a height of 0.84. Enter. Yeah, I think I said I wanted to extrude this to a height of 0.84. Then I'm going to 3D rotate it around the red axis 90. Then I'm going to move take ortho off here, and I'm going to copy this one from its bottom edge to there. Then I'm going to move it from its top edge here. Finally, I'll move this piece from its midpoint here to the midpoint. Try it again. Midpoint here. Doesn't look right. Yeah, I want to move this from the midpoint there. Midpoint. Okay, and then we can perhaps union. I'll make a window. Hope this works. Well, it looks alright. I'll shrink it down. Z, enter, E, enter, escape. Z, enter, E, enter. Move into southeast isometric, then move into layout mode, type MV, enter, of course I should have put that. I must be getting tired. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so that layer should change, and it should be the layer viewports. Also, I should make layer viewports current, and I should draw another viewport, a small one, let us say here like that. Double click inside and go to southeast isometric, pan and zoom. Click on that viewport and choose an annotative scale of 1/2. Then pan. Why doesn't this want to work? C, enter, E, enter. Okay, so the drawing looks correct. I just might want to move the window down a bit. Also, I might want to edit the scale. It's supposed to be 1/2. And this drawing here is supposed to be 23. Don't forget to save it as exercise 23. I guess that completes this project. Thank you for watching. Hi, please notice that today's drawing, exercise number 24, is on a B-size paper, which is 11 by 17, whereas so far we've only been drawing on A-size paper, letter size 8.5 by 11. The procedure is very much the same, as you will see. The first thing we'll do is to go to File, Open, but you won't open A-size paper, you'll open B-size paper. And then you still want to go to Windows, tile them vertically. I'll make the right screen active and then pan over so that we can see the entire dimension, which is pretty visible. Now I'm going to go here to the left screen and I'm going to click on it and go into model space, and then make layer 1 current. So the procedure is pretty much the same. I'm going to type L, enter, pick a point anywhere on the screen, move the mouse 3.75, enter, go down 3, enter, 3.75, enter, C to close. That's going to be the front view, so I'll zoom and that will remain the front view. Next we want to start on another view, so I'm going to copy these 3 lines here, drag them up, something like that. Hit enter or escape. Now we want to offset, enter 2.18, enter. And we want to offset the thickness of the material, which is 0.12, enter. So we'll offset that one, that, and that. Hit enter. We also want to offset, so I'll hit enter twice. O, enter. This time we're going to make a distance of 1.5, enter. Now we'll zoom in on the top view and clean it up a bit. First thing we want to do, type F, enter. We want to fillet this portion here. F, enter. And we want to trim from this, enter, these 2 lines. And we'll type F, enter again. Undo. Fillet radius is supposed to be 0. F, enter, R, enter, 0, enter. So we'll try it again. F, enter. Hit the space bar, F, enter. And we'll do it again up here. And as far as the radii is concerned, we'll try that now as well. F enter, R enter. The inside radius is 0.12, so we'll type 0.12, enter. Then we'll do the other side. Now we've got to get the outside radius because it's a uniform thickness. So we're going to type F enter, R enter. I don't know what the fillet radius is going to be, so it's going to be a distance from, I'll pick the center of that radius to a point that is perpendicular to that line. That's the radius. From the center of that little radius to the point that's perpendicular to that line. Then I'll select those two, and you can see that it's a uniform thickness around the bend. Next I'll zoom previous, and we can offset O enter, 0.12 enter, to get this thickness here. Hit enter twice. Now we're going to offset 0.75. Then we're going to offset 1.5. Enter twice. We're going to offset 1.12. Enter twice. Offset 0.75. Then we'll use the fillet. F enter, R enter, 0 enter, and we'll clean up these intersections. But we also have to break this line here. F enter, and we better put O snap on. First point is there, second point is there. Now we can fill it. Enter. Hit the space bar, fill it again. We also must remember that this inside line is hidden when you look at it, so we want to change its property and change the layer it's on. It should be on the layer called hidden. Why it didn't work, I don't know. I'll select it, go to property, put it on layer, hidden. There, now it's working properly. Next thing we want to do is draw the right side view. Well, I'm not sure that we really need it because it's quite self-explanatory without it, and there's no dimensions on it. So we'll ignore the right side view, and we'll copy this line and drag it up here like that. Enter or escape, and then we're going to trim from both of these lines that. Then we want to pan over and enlarge this view. What we want to do is to offset O enter, 0.38 enter. Here down, enter twice, 2.25 enter. Enter twice, 1.62 enter. $1.75. and we want to draw a circle, and this circle is going to be there, and the distance of the circle, diameter of the circle, will be 0.13. The only problem is it's on the wrong layer. So we'll use the match properties, pick layer 1, so now it's on the right layer, and then we can copy. I can select it like that individually, or with a window, copy it from that center to there, there, and there. And we can erase the unnecessary construction lines. We'll go to layer called center and make it current. And we'll pick a mark, put it right there. It's awful small. Oh, that's all right. We'll do the same for all 4 of them. Because if we want, since we're on layer center, we can draw a line connecting. And we can change light scale, LTS, 0.6. And we can continue to draw lines connecting all the circles. And if we want, we can move to layer dimension, make it current. I can zoom down, make it smaller, and we can start with dimensions. I can pan down, and then I'm going to move the top view a little bit so that we have more room. And I'll put another linear dimension for the total length of it. Then I'll pan upward a little bit, and I'll put some more dimensions. In zoom previous. Now we've got to add some dimensions here, so we'll put a linear dimension from here to show the thickness of the material and drag it up a little bit like so. We'll also show a dimension. Well, we better, doesn't look right. So let's fix it. Get rid of object snap, click on the dimension, and just drag it out here. It's not worth the trouble. I'll just erase it. try it again. With object snap, it should be on. Okay, now you're just going to click there and move it up like that. And we're going to do another dimension. And we can even put a radius. We'll check out the radius dimension. I'll give the inside diameter radius like that. And we'll have to call out the holes. So I'll pan, move over like that, and we'll give the diameter of that hole. Remembering that we can edit it. We can put a diameter symbol in front of it. Okay. That was weird. Try it again. Why don't I just delete the whole thing and start over? I can type diameter space 0.130, enter 4 HOLES, or just 4x, it doesn't really matter. I did it again. Now we want to start in on the solid model, so I'm going to make layer solid current. And then I'm going to pan, shrink the whole thing down, put it in the lower left corner. Also, it's probably a good idea to make layer solid current, freeze the dimension layer, and I can copy this whole business. I don't know yet how I'm going to make the solid. Well, I did it once, but a long time ago. Okay. Now we're going to thaw the dimension layer. And we'll pan over here a little bit and zoom with the window so that we have only the solids. And we'll move them together a little bit closer. Ortho should be on when you do this stuff. And we'll want to erase center lines. Now I want to type EXT, enter, and extrude the larger one to a height of 3. Enter, extrude the smaller one to a height of 0.75. Then move the smaller one from its midpoint here to the midpoint there, and we're able to join union the big piece and the small piece. Now I want to zoom in on these small holes here, okay, perhaps even make it larger. Because I really want to extrude those holes, and I got to be able to see them. I'm going to extrude that hole, that one, all four of them. How high, it doesn't matter. I'll just take a wild guess. 6. Enter. Then I'll zoom previously. And previously again. Zoom with the window. Now the next thing to do is use another command, ALIGN. It's called align. I really want to align these 4 holes or cylinders, whatever you want to call them. And I have to pick some points. The first point I'll pick, I want that to go here. Spacebar. Undo. Try it again. ALIGN. Pick the 4 cylinders. I hit enter and I shouldn't have. I'm going to go from there to there for the first point, from here to here for the second point, and from the midpoint of here to the midpoint up there. Then all I have to do is to subtract from that, enter these 4 cylinders, and the holes should appear. That's one way. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it. Now I want to erase that and see what this object looks like, this bracket, sheet metal part. It looks okay, radii are all in and everything, so we'll type Z, enter, E, enter. We'll go into top view, then we'll go into layout mode, and then we're going to do what? I guess we're going to fill the whole screen so we can see it. And now we're going to make layer viewports current. I'm going to type MV, enter. I think I'll take off object snap. And I'll make a big window. Not quite sure how this is going yet. Okay. The scale of this object is going to be 1:1. So I'll click on that and go to a scale of 1:1, see what it looks like. It's fairly big. So I'll pan and see how well it fits. Not too bad. Click outside. I can move so it looks like we can get it to fit in there all right. So now what I want to do is do another MV, another window, put it here, double click inside, and then go into southeast isometric as we did in all the other drawings. Pan, zoom with the window, and if we want, we can have some fun with this thing. We can zoom a window here and we can try rotating it out. Click inside, view, orbit, continuous orbit, and see if the holes and everything are all quite visible. The part looks okay, and so I guess we can put an end to this drawing. So I'll right click and I'll exit, and I'll zoom previous, double click outside, Z, enter, E, enter. Then you can edit whatever you want. You can put the scale, it's 1:1. You can put the drawing number, it's 24. You can edit these little asterisks, and you can put your name in there and the scale of the drawing, whatever. So that's about it. Of course, you know about getting rid of the viewports. Well, I'll do that anyway. I'm going to make layer 1 current and freeze viewports. So the procedure is identical to working on an A size, and that's true whether you're working whatever size paper you're working with, A size, B, C, D, or E. Thank you very much for watching. This video will show how to align two objects in 2D. The first thing to do is to make the command line active, type AL, enter, and select the objects. I'll select them with a window, enter. I'll have to pick the first point, but I need OSNAP to be on, so I'll connect these 2 points, then I'll connect these 2 points. I'll press enter to end the command. The selected objects are moved from the source point to the destination point, and second and third points, if I specified them, will rotate and tilt the selected objects. In this video, you will learn how to draw an arc by specifying 3 points. I'll pick on the command line to make it active, type A, enter, and I will need a start point. OSNAP is on, so I can pick this point, then I'll pick a point for the arc, and then the end point. I could do that again by hitting enter or the space bar to repeat the command. Take my first point, second point, and end point. Now we'll see how to use the break command to break an object, whether it be a line, a circle, or an arc. Of course, we'll make the command line active and type BR, enter, which is the alias for break, and we'll select the line, and we're going to take OSNAP off, and what we have to do is pick a point. You don't have to actually touch the line. I can repeat the command and pick another 2 points like that, or whatever. Keep doing it. Either go right to left or left to right, it doesn't matter. This time I'll hit enter or the space bar, and I'll select this line here. I'll type F, enter, put the object snap back on, and select my first intersection and then my second intersection, and you see that the line in between has disappeared. Also, we'll take off the object snap, we'll hit the space bar to repeat the command, and we'll try it on the circle. We'll pick 2 points, hit the space bar or enter key, another 2 points. You'll notice that I'm doing it counterclockwise. When you break a circle, you always have to do it counterclockwise. You don't actually have to touch it but get close to it. And that looks reasonably well. In this video, we'll learn how to chamfer objects. I have here a plate and a round shaft. So the first thing I'll do is to type CHA enter, then I'll type D enter, and I'll type 0.25 enter. That establishes one distance. I'll hit enter, that establishes a second distance. Now all I got to do is select two lines. Hit enter or the space bar to repeat the command and select another two lines. Repeat the command by hitting the space bar or enter key, and then do the last one. As far as the shaft goes, I'm going to type CHA enter again. Try it. CHA enter, D enter. This time the distance will be 0.06. Enter, and I'll enter it again because I want it at 45 degrees. So now I'll select the corner, repeat it down there, and again on this side, and again here. And since this is a shaft, and looking at it from the outside, there should be a line here. So I'm going to put a line with object snap-on from here to here, enter, repeat the command from here to here. And the drawing looks correct, so we'll move on. In this case, we will learn to draw a circle by specifying a center point and radius or diameter. And so I'm going to type C enter, then I'll type R enter, and with those snap on, pick the left end point, move the mouse. I'll type R enter for the radius and type 0.19, enter. Repeat the command by hitting the enter or space key. Select the other end of the line. Now I'm going to type D enter, and I'll type 0.75 enter, and that looks right. In this case, we're going to copy an object using 2 points. So on the command line, I'll type CO enter. I'll select the circle on the left, enter. A base point, I'll select the quadrant using object snap, the quadrant, and I'll put that at the end point of the vertical line. Hit escape. Repeat the command. I'll select the circle. I'll pick the quadrant again, but this time I'll pick that left side quadrant, then bring it over here and put it at the end point there, and hit enter or escape to complete the command. And that looks okay. Here in this video, we'll learn how to insert points to mark equal segments. The first thing I want to do is to type PDMODE. The reason for that is I want to make sure I've got a mark here. 0, 1, 2, 3 all have different marks. So I'm going to accept 3 as the mark. Now I'm going to type DIV, enter. I'll select the line, and I'm asked for the number of segments. I'll type 3, enter. I'll repeat the command. I'll select the circle, and they ask for the number of segments, and I'll type 6. So those X's are PD mode 3, and that divides the line. I could draw lines, I could break at those points, and incidentally they're called nodes. These X's are called nodes. So you can break different segments and so forth. I don't think that the erase command requires much explanation. All you have to do is type enter, and you can select individual entities to erase, or you can hit enter, then you can type enter with a crossing so that anything you touch can be erased, or you can make a window so anything encompassed by the window will be erased, or you can undo. I think that's enough for the erase command. The extend command is pretty straightforward. I'll type EX enter to extend. I'll select the circle, enter, and then pick any of these points to extend it to the perimeter of the circle. Repeat the command. I can do it one at a time. I want to extend to that line, enter. Repeat the command. I want to extend to this line, enter, that line, enter. Or you can do it multiple at once. For example, I want to extend to both of those lines, enter, then I can extend it like that. That's all you have to know about extend. The fillet command is extremely useful, and I use it all the time. I'll type F enter, R enter, 0.19 enter, and I'll select these two lines. I'll do it again. F enter, R enter. This time the radius will be 0, enter. This is a command you'll use constantly, because I can make a right angle whether the lines are far apart or whatever. So you want to be sure you learn the fillet command, and that's all there is to it. Here we're going to use the hatch command. I'll type H enter. Dialog box comes up, and I'm asked to select objects. So let's say I select the rectangle, enter, dialog box appears again. I don't wish to make any changes to the scale or whatever, so I'll simply say OK. I'll repeat the command. This time I want to change the direction of the hatch marks, so I'll change the angle from 0 to 90. And I'll pick a point. I'll select objects. I'll select the circle, enter, dialog box appears, you click OK, and that's it. Kind of easy and straightforward. Autocad is not as hard as many people think it is once you get into it. Sometimes it's easier to use the mirror command than to use copy or move. In this case, I'll use mirror. MI enter. I'll select the number 2 on that side, enter. With O snap on, I'll pick that vertical line. I got to pick 2 points like so, and you hit enter. You notice that the 2 does not invert. And I guess that's it for this video. The move command is also straightforward. Simply type enter, select the circle, go to the intersection there, and drag it to the end point like that. I could mirror that to put the circle on the other end, but instead I'm going to repeat, or I'll use the copy command. So I'm going to copy this, enter, from the quadrant on the left side and drag it over to the other end. Hit enter. And that's that. In this video, we'll offset a circle and a rectangle by specifying a distance. And so on the command line, I'll simply type O enter, and then I'll type in a distance, 0.1, enter. And I can offset the circle any number of times. And also I can offset the rectangle in both inside and outside, as you see. Hit escape to clear the command line, and that's that. In this video, we're going to use the petit command to join polylines, lines and arcs into a single polyline. Of course, you have to have a single polyline as shown in red here in order to be able to extrude it in 3 dimensions. So, to begin with, I'm going to activate the command line and type PE enter. It says select a polyline, so I select a line. I'm asked if I want to turn it into a polyline. I say yes, enter, just hit enter. Then I want to type J enter to join. In other words, I want to join to that line which I just made a polyline, all these other lines. So I select them all and hit enter twice. Now that is a polyline which can be extruded. So it's same with that one. This is also, petit is also useful to create wide polylines. For example, if I was to type PE enter and select this line, which is a polyline, I can type W enter and specify a new width for all the segments. So I'll type 0.125, enter. Repeat the command, select the second line, W for width, enter, specify a new width, 0.375, enter. Repeat the command, select a polyline. An arc is a polyline. No, it's not. So I guess I have to turn it into a polyline. I'll say yes, enter, and then I'll type W enter and specify a width of 0.062, enter. And that's another example of the polyline edit command. In this video, we will create a polar array, and so I'll click the command line to make it active, type AR enter. Then click on polar array and select objects button, and I'll select the object. Hit enter, dialog box appears again. I'll click to pick a center point, which will be at the cross section. The total number of items I'll change to 10. I want the angle to fit to be 360 degrees, and so I'll click OK. In this one, we will create a rectangular array. We'll type AR enter on the command line and select rectangular array. Now we'll want to change the rows to 2 and the columns to 3, and we have to select the objects down here. The dialog box appears again, and we should put in dimensions. The row offset would be 0.48, and the column, no, my mistake, the row offset would be 0.59, and the column offset would be 0.48. Then we'll click OK, and that looks all right. The rotate command is another one that I use quite often. All you got to do is type RO enter. I'll select this line and select the base. I want the line to go clockwise, so it has to be a negative number. So I'll simply type -30, -30. Repeat the command. This time I'll take this vertical line, enter. There's the base point, and I want to do -30 again, -30 again. Then of course I would copy CO enter this line in order to make the before and after the same. We'll learn about putting dimensions on later on. And that's that. The scale command is also pretty straightforward. Just type SC enter, select the object including the dimension, because the dimension will change when you scale it. I'll pick the intersection there, and I'll make it scale it by a factor of 2, enter. And that looks right. I want to drag it down with grips though to improve the appearance. You'll have to take O-snap off to do it right, like that. Hit escape. And that is done for the scale command. Using the trim command is also very helpful. Just type TR enter, and I'll select, say, these 2 vertical lines, enter. So from those lines I can trim that one, and that one. Or I can just type F enter and draw a line. It's a fence. Then automatically all of them will be trimmed at once. Or I can trim, I'll hit escape, repeat the command. I can trim from the circle anything on the outside, like that. Or if I wanted, I could even trim on the inside like this. I'll hit escape and undo that, just so I'll try it one more time, and this time I'll type TR enter. I want to trim from the circle, enter, and I'll use a fence, F enter. So I want to get rid of those lines, enter, trim again, select objects, F for fence, and then just do it backwards like that. And that does it for this grouping of simple, basic AutoCAD commands. Thank you for your attention.